How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? This is William coming at y'all with yet some more updates and everything. And this one here is concerning lawyers, judges. Well, mostly lawyers on this one, okay? And my topic this morning is, oh yeah, this is I think this is 18th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, September the 18th, 2021. Okay, so let's go ahead on in. And my topic today, like I said, is about lawyers. And a lot of y'all know the Wall family, and y'all know a lot of the Wall family. Particularly my Wall family is hated by a lot of people concerning this judicial system here in Richmond County, North Carolina. So they hate it. So they're against me and hate me. A lot of this judicial system around here, and they text it out on my children as well, to the point that they even brace my family up. So they is not off limits. You understand what I'm saying? The off limit, they ain't off limit to nothing that they won't do to you, hurt you. They don't care. Rip your family apart. They don't care. But like I said, my topic is about lawyers. So here I'm gonna jump right in. And I'm gonna start with Kelly Williams, which has been a long-term lawyer of mine in my family and friends. So let me say that again. My lawyer, my family's lawyer, and friends. So me and this lawyer Kelly Williams go way back. Which is why I don't understand. Well, let me just say this first. I kind of admire you, Kelly Williams, because the reason why I admire you all these years is because I always thought you was a pretty good stand-up lawyer, and that you would avoid all conflicts concerning your professional career. But as of now, I think you kind of crossed the line with me as being my attorney for the years that has passed, my family attorney and my friend's attorney, and which at today is you still some of my friends' attorney. But I'm not gonna call out no name. And I'm not gonna put you on the spot on that. But I am gonna put you on the spot about something that you failed to remember in front of that judge on the 16th of September 2021. You said, "Oh, well, ain't want no conflict between me and Walt, but and I was just turning on a ticket back in the '80s. Come on, Kelly. See. Here's the thing, y'all. These lawyers seem to forget their involvement with me, and they brush it up under the table like if I done forgot. Well, I'm gonna just bring one thing to your memories, Kelly Williams, and this is what I'm gonna bring to your memories. You was my mama's attorney in the 19. I'm gonna say let's see, the 90s. Okay, so you took the judge and went back to the 80s, but I'm gonna bring you to the 90s, and I can bring you all the way up to the date. But I'm gonna caution you again, and this is what I'm gonna caution you with. Kelly Williams, do you not remember that you was my mother's attorney? Reese Saunders was my wife's attorney at that time, and Ira Pittman was my attorney at that time when we falsely got charged with a drug charge. I guess you forgot all about that, didn't you, Kelly? You thinking about in the '80s? You forgot all about that in the '90s, didn't you? About that fraudulent drug charge came about upon us through the sheriff department, the wicked sheriff department, Richmond County, that is, about a fraudulent drug charge they placed against me, my mother, and my wife. And Ira Pittman was my attorney. Reese Saunders was was my wife's attorney, and Kelly Williams, of course, was my mother attorney. So we had three attorneys. But I guess you just forgot that, didn't you, Kelly? You forgot that, didn't you? So I ain't gonna bring them more to your memory because see, here's the thing. Here's my observation of this here. I like you, Kelly. I'm gonna be honest with you. I always liked it, you, and I always liked it. I always thought I liked the position you always held because you never been in a conflict with me up until now. So and you put yourself at conflict, and you put yourself in conflict concerning your personal career. I mean, your professional career, not your personal career, your professional career. And I just think I think you got room where you can straighten that out. Because if you come in conflict with me again, I'm going to caution you again, Mr. Williams, that I will put everything out there about you concerning me, my family, and friends all the way to the date. And I'm only costing you to the time that you was my mother's attorney in the '90s, and I'm gonna leave it right there, and you can leave it right there. But if you ever come in conflict with me again through DSS or any other kind of way, then all of your stuff coming to the light. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that right now. And when I say I'm gonna bring all your stuff to the light. Because when you start messing with me, you start messing up your own career, especially falsely. You know you're a conflict to me, Kelly Williams. You know you've been a conflict to me for a long time. You've been through practically my whole family as an attorney. And now you think you're gonna be against me with the DSS when you was my attorney before? That's not gonna happen, Mr. Williams. Yeah, it'll happen, but you do what you do as an attorney. I'm gonna do what I do as a individual that had you as my attorney, my family's attorney, and also my friend's attorney. So you can take it upon yourself to handle it any way you want to handle it. But if we have to meet up in court again and you against me in any kind of aspect and being a conflict and don't accuse yourself, then you're going to give me the privileges to bring you everything to the light concerning you and my family and my friends and myself. And I'm gonna leave it like that. As far as anything else, Kelly, I think you're a good lawyer. I always thought you was a good lawyer. And I don't like to see a good lawyer bring themselves in conflict, especially when it got something to do with me. See, now you can't get up in that courtroom and say I'm a conflict with Mr. Wall and won't touch me, but yet on the other hand, you would get up there and say I'm not a conflict to be against me. Well, tell me, you can't have it both ways. Now, either you're gonna be a conflict against me and leave me alone, or you're gonna be a conflict and we're gonna both I'm gonna get at you too with the stuff that I done been through with you. So you're not ain't none of you lawyers gonna play that game with me. On one end, I was up in court, me and my family one day, and every lawyer, they're all we're on conflict. We're in conflict. Prelip, Paul Prelip, Ira Pittman, Jordan, all of them in conflict. Everybody up there. But yet, on the other hand, you ain't in conflict when it come down to being against me. Then you ain't in conflict. That's like David McGuire in conflict. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Represent a wall, then turn around and represent a wall against a wall. What kind of junk is that? See, you can't be in conflict with me on one end and then not be in conflict with me on another end because that's prejudicial prejudice. That's what that is. So either you're gonna be in conflict and stay out of my way, or you're gonna be in conflict and I'm gonna stay in your way. Now you take it any way you want to take it, and they go for any. And I got history. Every lawyer here in Richmond County, especially the old school lawyers. So I'm gonna caution each and every one of y'all before it ever happen. Don't forget me when it come down to what you did to me, and when it come down to being being the representation of me, and then in the court in front of a judge, you say you was a conflict, you can't take the wall because you're a conflict, but then on the other hand, you're not in conflict when you're against the wall. That ain't how this conflict thing works. It's not conflict is not one sided. If you in conflict, you in conflict. So you need to accuse yourself from being in conflict with me. And that's for each and every one of your attorneys because I'm finna unfold a lot of junk about you attorneys around here. And I'm gonna blast you on my YouTube. You keep on coming against me. You ain't gonna be for me, then be against me. You know what I'm saying? That ain't finna happen because I ain't gonna say you can't do that like I can't say what none of you can do. I ain't gonna say what you can't do, but I will say this. That don't mean I gotta take what you do. You understand what I'm saying? So I got a position here too. They're like you got a position, I got a position. And I'll make you famous on my YouTube. You understand what I'm saying? But when you become famous on my YouTube, that means that your career or something gonna be happening to your career. So if you want to continue on with your spotless record and continue on with your career, you better leave me alone. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I know you demons here in this county. I know all you little demons here. Just like Reese Son in conflict. He been in conflict from the word go with me. He was a judge, then went to being my attorney, then went now to being a district attorney. Now that's a three-way conflict with me. Three-way. Now you tell me. I'm gonna tell y'all just to let y'all know that, and this is gonna be for some of the older crowd. That's my age group or older because the younger crowd don't remember a lot of this. But I'm gonna school y'all younger crowd too to this. You gotta stop these attorneys from being your attorney and then turn around and be against you. That's a conflict. And your young people, it don't just start with you. It started with your mama, your daddy, your relatives. So, a lot of these attorneys here in Richmond County, them represented your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. And then now you the children of the parents. You the children of your parents, you the sister, you the brother. And now they already got a vendetta against you already. just because of your last name and just because who they know about you concerning your family. So I want to school y'all young people about that. Y'all last name means something in this county. You know what I'm saying? With these attorneys. And these attorneys know that they're in conflict with a lot of people. I mean, come on. You got Kelly Williams, Ira Pittman, George Davis, Deans, Daniels. You got all these attorneys, Tommy Nichols. You got all these attorneys that were raised here in Richmond County. And we growed up with them. I grew up with all of them. Kelly went all the way down. Benny Sharp, Sharp and Butler. I grew up with every one of them around here. And every one of them done crossed my path in some kind of way. Me and my attorney, my family's attorney, every one of them. Not one of them. I'm talking about every one of them, including our district attorney, Reese Saunders. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not on here to blast nobody out, but I'm just here to put caution there. I'm just here to put caution to every attorney that know they know me and been my attorney in the past, and then they got up in that same courtroom and said that there's that conflict with me in the walls. So therefore they can't be our attorney. But yet on the other hand, they can get up there and say, well, I ain't got a conflict, or, you know, I'm against them now. No, that ain't how conflict works. Conflict, you don't get to choose when you can be against the wall or for a wall. You don't get to choose that. Either you for or you're not. And that makes you a conflict. So I'm gonna just put a caution there to your attorney. You know, this just happened to me and Kelly, and I don't really think a lot of bad about it. But I just want to caution because I know when stuff like that, you know, I know Kelly Williams, he's the lawyer for the DSS. You know, so he represented the DSS, but see, he can't forget who he represented before. You know, he done represented practically my whole family, you know, at some point in time, you know, Kelly Williams. So I just want to caution Mr. Williams from here on out, you know, you're a conflict to me, and I want you to just be just that way, a conflict to me. Now, as far as meeting you on the street, hey, Kelly Williams, how you doing? I ain't nothing wrong with that. But when it comes down to the legal justice department and that legal system up there in this crooked county here, Richmond County, the people here, you know, Kelly Williams, I'm going to ask you to stay clear of me. That's all I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to ask you to stay clear of me because you don't want what I got to say about you. If you come across my path again, being against me, you ain't going to want what you want to be heard about you on my YouTube. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I like and I always have respect for you, and in a period that you always had respect for me as well. So let's keep it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because if we keep it that way, we good. We good. That's all I'm going to say. We good. Because you know that like I know. I know every crook in here. No, I ain't going to say I know every crook here, but I know a lot of wicked people here. Wicked demons here in Richmond County. So now, y'all, let's go back. See, I'm old school, y'all. So, and the young people, I know y'all ain't never heard a lot of this stuff, and you playing catch up, but you ask your parents that know me. I done been through this system around here, and I know how wicked this system can be. They don't care nothing about you. They don't care nothing about you if you're not guilty. They don't care nothing about that. They make you guilty. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got a three-way system against you. You got the Richmond County Sheriff Department, you got DSS, then you got the judges, and they spread your name throughout the judge's chamber. So they already know, you know, here's about a judge that knows something about you. They already know what they're going to do to you before you even go up in front of them. Already know what they're going to do to you. So, you know, that's just the way it is around here. I've been through the system on the other side to realize that, hey, so I don't mess with them. I stay clear of them because I know the wickedness that they'll throw over your head. They'll do that stuff to you. Because, see, I'm old school. I know every old school attorney, lawyer, judge that come through Richmond County. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this on point here. The best judge that I ever been in front of, the best judge that and I know a lot of you old school people that know this, was that Susan Taylor. Man, tell me that judge. Now I'm not saying that she was good because I liked her. I'm saying that she was good because she applied the law, and though she applied the law in a minimum way. You know, that one was good. I've been in front of her several times, and I think that Susan Taylor was one of the best judges that came through Richmond County, as far as I can remember. Now, Tanya Wallace, Tanya Wallace with her, she was a good judge. She was what you would call it. She was pretty serious about the law and you breaking the law. Tanya Wilder pretty serious about that. So you went in front of her and you were wrong, buddy. She was pretty serious about what she, when she applied her order. So that I can appreciate about that about her too, because that's how she was. As far as what I can remember about her. Because I was with Tanya Wilder in her younger days too, when her daughter Savon Wilder was a little girl. You know what I'm saying? Went to school with my kids. So yeah, each judge got their representation, and Tanya Wilder, she had that representation. Now let's back on up to some more names. Shit, we got Christopher Brad, we got Scott Brewer, we got D. Parker, which was the district attorney here at one time after Ken Honeycutt. We got all these. We got Charlotte Brown, that was the only black attorney that come through here and went through Sharp and Butler's office. Charlotte Brown. Now let me tell you how good I am with these judges. Now, Christopher Brad left here, and you know what he do now? He's a superior court judge in Charlotte. Let me tell you something. That's what I'm talking about right there. I put the judges on the spot, good or bad. Now, Christopher Brad, the judge, Christopher Brad, Superior Court judge now, doing his thing. But he once come through Richmond County as a district attorney, and then he was a civil judge here in Richmond County as well, and went on to climb that ladder, being a Superior Court judge. Congratulations, Christopher Brad. You deserve it, man. I think you do. So I know I had a run in with you in the earlier days, but that doesn't excuse how I feel about you. And I think when you left here and you escalated, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? Now we got Charlotte Brown. But Charlotte Brown, everybody know anything about Charlotte Brown, man. She was just like a lawyer's mother. She was a lawyer, but she was a mother to the young black people growing up. Not just to the young black people. She was a mother to everybody that was doing wrong. That's just how. If anybody knew anything about Charlotte Brown, she was a mother to the people. I mean, for real. Because she wanted you to get your life together and straighten your life out, and that's everything I remember about her. And guess what she at now? Man, she's a judge in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey, man, more power to you, Miss Brown. You was the best. I'm telling you, that woman was the best, and she wasn't the best because I liked her. She was the best because she cared about people and cared about the correction of people's lives. Now, that's the key. You care about people so much, and not just black or white. You care about people whereas you care about changing their life so they won't have to go down that road, that destructible road. That's what it's all about with our youth. We want to straighten our youth to go down that road right. Not be out here doing this wicked stuff. I saw Charlotte Brown in court down in Charlotte. She stopped her whole court section. Listen to what she did, She stopped her whole court section. And she said, Mr. Wall, come up to my bench. I went up to her bench. She came across the bench in her black robe and hugged me. Let me tell you something. If you don't think that did something to me, for Miss Brown to remember me back in my youth, boy, I'm telling you, that was an awesome thing that was from Miss Brown. Miss Charlotte Brown. Judge, Your Honor, Charlotte Brown. Yes, sir. Remember that? Hey, let me tell you. So it ain't been a bad experience with me with a lot of lawyers or a lot of judges. But it just, some judges, I felt that didn't excuse themselves in a case where, that's like Sophia Croft, which was Sophia Gatewood, when I remember her back in the day. She was a conflict, and I made it known to her that she was, from the very start with my case, I let her know from the very start she was a conflict with me. But she ignored that. And let me tell you what she did. After she did all the dirt to me and stripped me of my rights and everything that she done to me, then when the shoe started getting on the other foot, she accused herself. That ain't the time to excuse yourself. The time was to accuse yourself was when I let you know that you was a conflict. And I told you why you was a conflict. But yeah, she proceeded on, tried the case and put everything against me and put me on the spot and hurt me. And then she accused herself after she did all of the dirt to me. See what I'm saying? Now, that's what a judge don't supposed to do. Now, you supposed to saw that thing all the way through. If you're going to be the judge and not be in conflict, you supposed to saw that thing all the way through. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's supposed to have done, but she didn't do that. She accused herself. I went to court one day with my ex-wife. I ain't gonna hear this case on a conflict. No, you been a conflict. Why all of a sudden now you a conflict? After you done stripped me of my rights and then stripped me of my children, stripped me of my family and broke my family up, now you're gonna accuse yourself. No, that wasn't the time to do that. The time was to do that was the very beginning when I let you knew that you was a conflict to me. Exactly. So, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Now we got Lisa Tracy. Then at the time, that was another attorney that was a three-way conflict with me. She was my attorney. I started her career. She became a judge. No, she was my attorney first. That's how I started her career. Then she became a district attorney along with Miss Gatewood at that time. So that was the prime of their life to me, cause boy, that hey, and then she became a judge later on. So they're like Reese Saunders, he a three-way conflict to me too, Judge, attorney, not district attorney. That makes him a three-way conflict to me. A three-way now, not one way, not two-way, a three-way conflict to me. That's what she are. She a three-way. He a three-way conflict just as well as well uh Miss Crawford. She is not. She a two-way conflict because one, she was a district attorney that prosecuted me back in the past. Then she now a judge. She a two-way conflict to me. You know what I'm saying? So Kelly Williams is he pretty much well, he ain't never been a judge, so he a two-way conflict too. So, and most of all the lawyers, most every lawyer around here is a two-way conflict to me, unless they've been a judge, district attorney, and a lawyer here about concerning me. It ain't but like one, two. We'll see. We got Reese Saunders, we got Lisa Tracy, which she no longer with us. She was a three-way conflict. Reese Saunders three-way conflict. Scott Brewer two-way conflict. You know what I can appreciate about Scott Brewer? I'll tell you, one time I went in front of him, and he knew it was a conflict. Out the gate, he knew it. And you know what he did? He backed off. Being a judge, now, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that now, but he did. And y'all know, being the reputation that Scott Brewer got here in Richmond County, he's a cutthroat judge. You know what I'm saying? So being a cutthroat judge, he ain't take your junk. He put the junk on you. You know what I'm saying? So, but he backed off. He backed off. Yeah, he did. On a case that was involving me, yeah. He and I tell you, and who was my lawyer at the time was Paul Prelip. Sure was. Paul Prelip was my lawyer at the time when Scott Brewer backed off. Sure did. So I can appreciate a judge for legal reason that's appreciated to me because you're in conflict and you're not gonna be fair. Now it'll be something different if you get up there. To me now, it'll be something different if you know you're in conflict, but yeah, you can be fair and impartial. Now that'll say something to me right there now. But now when I know you ain't fair and impartial, you a conflict, straight conflict to me. So let me see some other names. I'll say D. Parker. I only saw D. Parker in one side, and he always been a DA ever since I ever known him. When he come in after Honeycutt, and Scott Brewer, he was a district attorney here. I don't know if y'all remember him, but I think he's a district attorney up in Southern Moore County now. But he was a district attorney here before Reese Saunders won an election over him in Richmond County, which really and truly, and no disrespect, I don't think Reese Saunders need to be a district attorney here in Richmond County. And I'm going to tell you why. How are you going to be a lawyer, a judge and a lawyer, and a doggone district attorney in the same county? In the same county. You know everybody, you done judged everybody accordingly when you was a judge. Then you was most everybody attorney in Richmond County that got in any trouble here, including my wife. So, and now it makes you a district attorney to prosecute the same one that you done judged over and the same ones you done been a lawyer to. Now you get to prosecute. That's a three-way. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I ain't saying it as being disrespectful to Reese Saunders, but I'm only saying it because you a three-way conflict with me, and you a three-way conflict to a lot of people in this county, just because of your position as a judge, as a lawyer, and then now as a district attorney. That makes you a three-way conflict, and that makes you that makes you prejudiced. Now, I'll give it saying partial, but no, I'm finna say the wrong word. That makes you prejudiced. That makes you biased against certain cases that come before you. And certain cases that came before you concerning me, you bias on. You know what I'm saying? Then one of the cases was when you decided not to prosecute my ex-wife for breaking into my house. You know, now it was one thing that the sheriff came here with and broke in. They said, well, that was her resident at the time, but she hadn't left and abandoned the resident. So that was allowed. I said, okay, I get that, you know. So she got her clothes and everything, and then she left my premises with the sheriff department. But then the next day, and I still to this day got an eyewitness to that now, where she came back, broke into my house all by herself, without the sheriff department, nobody with her. And I called the sheriff department out to investigate, and they investigated. And then with the words the detective told me at that time, saying, DA's over, they ain't gonna prosecute your ex-wife, your wife, at the time, my wife. So that hurt me, you know, because if that had been me that done something like that, even though you a three-way conflict to me, you would have prosecuted me. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call conflict. You know, so you didn't prosecute my ex-wife and clear a law that says she broke into my house, and I got a clear eyewitness that I gave the name to the detective. Clear eyewitness, watch her come in, watch her leave. But yet, district attorney failed not to prosecute her. As well as my ongoing case I got now. I got an ongoing case been going on for November to be 3 years. She assaulted me in 2018 in front of DSS parking lot. And I have yet to have justice to that. Still ain't got no justice to that. But see, it ain't over yet. So, but I just think it's bias and prejudice going so far. That's why I'm gonna put it that way. And until it get over, then we'll see where it's going. But right now, I'm gonna just say, right now, the bias and prejudice. That's what I'm gonna put out there now. And bias and prejudice and conflict. That's what I'm gonna put out there right now until this thing come to a head. Now, let's see. What else I gotta say concerning? Oh yeah, about the DSS. Okay, y'all know I let the DSS come in by the ruling of the judge that say that I didn't know him. And I've been still on my database about that, putting everything together. And my whole mind and everything said I know the guy, and the guy know me too. So, and just in case if he think he don't know, I'm gonna put this out here because I'm pretty sure he watch my YouTube too. Judge, we used to sit together and we used to eat together and we used to talk about everything Richmond County from Dale Fur to everything. And you was a very smart person. I acknowledge you then as a very smart person because you always had a book. You kind of like you didn't look like a nerd, but you kind of like was a nerd because you stayed in them books. So maybe you was learning how to be a judge then. I don't know, but you stayed in them books. You stayed up on everything. And I watched you through the years of doing that. I can even tell you what kind of car you had. You had I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. So if this don't remind you of me, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what kind of car you had. You had one of them doggone Crown. Was it a Crown Victoria? As a matter of fact, you had the same kind of car that Darren Fur riding around with them Crown Victorias. You know, I don't know if it was a Marauder. I think it was a Marauder if I'm not mistaken. One of the Mercury Marauders. So I remember you. See, I don't like for nobody to tell me I don't know who they is when I know who they is. You know what I'm saying? And see the thing is between me and this judge, it ain't never been nothing bad. You know, it just we just communicated a lot. You know, during the time before he was a judge. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he always had that study ability about himself, where he studied the books and he was just up on everything. That's what I remember about the guy. You know what I'm saying? I remember that about him, and there ain't never been nothing that was bad that crossed between us. So when I saw the judge in the court on September 16, 2021, I said, Your Honor, don't I know you? He was like, nah, I'm not from around here. Okay. Tell me, ain't too many people you gonna run across now. You run it now, if he was white or black, I might forget or whatever. But he's an unusual person. And y'all can tell by looking at him, he looks like a Chinese or something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna forget that kind of face. You tell me, how am I gonna forget that kind of face? You know, I can't forget that kind because he looked the same way back years ago when I used to sit with him. You know, so that face, I don't care if he got a black robe on, I can't forget that face because ain't no judge ever ran across me that had that image about them that I couldn't forget. He had the image about him because he looked like, to me now, he may not be a Chinese, but just to me, he kind of put me in the mind of a Chinese because he Oriental. He not no black or white person. He believe that. I mean, he might be mixed, but he ain't that because he more like a You know, like I don't think he's Mexican, but I mean, he got that Chinaman looking look. You know, But the fact of the matter is, we ain't never had nothing, um, bad come between us because I thought he was a good person. You know, and when I had my experience with him, and if he be the same one, I thought he was a really good person because we talked about a lot of stuff. I mean, it won't nothing out the way. So, but I could appreciate that about him. And moving on forward from that DSS, I will get on that DSS thing. Richmond County DSS look like, from what I can see, there's been an overhaul up there. People retiring, people that left the job or whatever. A lot of them that caused me grief up there. It seemed like a lot of them gone. So, so we got some new workers up there. And but I'm still cautious. I'm very cautious about it because the reason why I'm cautious is because what's been done to me through that system up there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm cautious. I'm alert. I'm being alert to that there may be some changes up there, but I'm still cautious. You know what I'm saying? And what made me cautious is when this Miss Jones lady get up on the stand. She types up this paper that I showed y'all and put stuff in on that paper. That ain't nowhere nobody called her and told her that Mr. Wall got a problem with substance use and abuses children. Ain't nowhere nobody called her and told her that. I'm saying no. I don't care who the informant is. Ain't nobody called her and told her that Mr. Wall has substance use, abuses his children. Ain't no doggone person called her and told her no junk like that. She put that on there all on her own, or with the help of somebody else over her. You see what I'm saying? That's what got me cautious. So you got a reason to lie. What's your reason for lying? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I look at. People lie for a reason. They either lie to get gain or move up in life or to move up in their position, but they lie for a reason. So and I'm hip to that. People lie for a reason, so she lied for a reason on that paper. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But anyway, the two workers that did come out, I did exactly what the judge ordered. They gave them a private conversation with each one of my boys and everything. They talked each one. I recorded the whole, but see, my camera records the whole thing. So if there anything ever change or come up differently, I just ain't posted it, y'all. Cause see, some that's told me say reserve these videos. You know what I'm saying? Let's reserve them and let's get these new workers and new DSS workers a chance. So okay, I'm gonna give them a chance. And I'm not gonna post the videos. I'm not gonna post them because I got all the videos where they talk to each one of my boys by themselves with two of them, and each one of my boys they talk to them by themselves without the presence of me, So hey, but my camera record the whole thing inside the house and outside the house. So I just want to let y'all know that. And I just keep them videos on reserve so in case if anything come down later down the line, then I'll post them videos with the quickness. So, but I'm gonna give it a chance. And say you can't judge everybody, and that's true. You can't, which I ain't never judge nobody. I judge the situation. I don't judge nobody. Because the same way you told a lie, you can turn around and repent for that lie and straighten that thing out. So I don't judge nobody. But I'm gonna inspect your fruit. The Lord tell us we can inspect them fruits now to see whether they good or bad. Because what the Lord say, ain't no good tree gonna bring forth bad fruit, and ain't no bad tree gonna bring forth good fruit. So therefore you know them by the fruit they bear. And I'm always inspecting the fruits of everybody, judge everybody. So ain't not really no situation between us now, other than I disagree with the judge and allowing the DSS 5 months, and then they was wrong, but he still upheld them being right. That ain't the right thing to do because let's say this for instance, y'all. I'm gonna just say that just for instance. Let's just say I was really an abusive parent, and the DSS failed to do their job, and I hurt one of my kids. Severely hurt them. Then they would have been able to be sued because they didn't follow their protocol and doing what they're supposed to do in the very beginning back in May the 10th, 2021, right? So you come about 5 months later, you want to try to come and rehearse a job that you supposed to have done back in May of 2021 and now in September 2021? See, that's what I'm talking about. So if I had been that kind of parent to really hurt my children or have substance abuse with this woman added these lies in there, then they was already out of their job, then won't they? Because if I would actually been that kind of parent, then my kid would actually been hurt, wouldn't it? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I disagree with concerning the DSS, and that's what I disagree with the judge, and that's what I call Kelly Williams as a conflict, because he's a lawyer for the DSS. He's gonna defend it, but he could be like, hey, let's just let this go because y'all don't fail to do your job. So we just gonna let this go because this is 5 months, and if them kids were gonna be hurt, they'd done already been hurt, and y'all would have been at fault. Now I would have been like, okay, now that's right, though. Now that's justice right there. Now that's right, and that's how I would have went. That's right. So that's what happened. But I'm gonna sum it up with everything, y'all. I call a lot of people out here. Y'all know I know. And you see that the names I done called out here. Y'all know I know every attorney around here. But I don't want these attorneys to get up in court and be one way that they're at conflict, and then when they're against the wall, they're not at conflict. Well, how you gonna be at conflict in front of a judge, but then yet now you're not in conflict? So that ain't how conflict don't work there. You don't get to choose when you at conflict and when you're not. Now you get to choose when you're at conflict. So when you at conflict, don't touch it. But you don't get to choose that I'm in conflict now, but then later when you're against a certain individual that you're not at conflict. Because if you at conflict from the beginning, you at conflict all the way around. So that's all I got to say, y'all. And before I leave, I want to say God bless each and every one that hears me, and more than hear me, understand what I'm saying, and abiding under the blood of Christ. Always abiding under the blood of Christ. Because, I have got out here and lashed out on YouTube, and I have called people maggots and maggot bass and all that type stuff. But see, I don't really mean that towards the person themselves. I mean that to the demon, the demonic demon that's upon that they learn themselves to subject themselves to do devilish things. That's what I relate that stuff to. I don't think no person is bad human, but I think your action and things that you do is what make you bad at the time. Because you know what? You can always change that. You can always be like, man, I'm wrong. God, please forgive me in the name of Jesus. I was wrong and I lied. Man, guess what God just did? Just forgave you. So if God can forgive you, I can forgive you too. But see, I lashes out and say stuff like that, and I lashes out because the devil that's on you, riding you, that's causing you to do those things that's contrary to the Lord. There's no reason why none of you can't be honest and truthful with doing your job. You get paid to do the job, and just be honest with your job. If you're a social worker, do your job to the fullness. If you're a judge, if you're at conflict, don't be not at conflict in the beginning, then be at conflict at the end. That how this thing works. If you're a conflict all the way from the beginning to the end. They're like, this return the same thing, conflict. So that's all my thing is. But see, I'm going a different route now because I done grew a lot, and so I understand things a lot differently. So I ain't gonna be calling y'all no more maggots and maggot bastards and all that, but I am gonna do one other thing that I can do is call you a demonic devil and working for the Satan himself at the time that you did what you did. Now I ain't saying that you can't change or you can't turn things around, because you can. Some things some of you done can't be changed. The Lord gotta change it. But change the thing that you can change before it's too late. Because one day the Lord is going to visit us all into the works that we do. And I leave that with y'all, and I ask for it, and I bless to hear that hears and understand what the words that came out of my mouth. Go have a prosperous day, have a prosperous journey in the name of Jesus. Amen.